So, telling your story with a presentation is something that is very common in the business world. And you'll often have somebody in your office who's the PowerPoint person. That's what they've been called. And certainly, PowerPoint is the ubiquitous program that people tend to go to, but it is so dated and it is so non engaging. And in fact, it's one of those things that I really push people away from. PowerPoint introduced something that was, I would think, helpful at the time for storytellers, and that is it introduced organization and a consistent format. You think of these as themes. So you could download a theme, you could get a theme, your corporation can have a theme with the logos already built in, and it allowed this consistency to occur. But the problem with consistency is that it introduced an element of such predictability that people tend to tune out. The second thing is PowerPoint really made it easy for you to add words to slides, and words are the death sentence for a presentation, particularly if you're doing a presentation on a visual setting like a Zoom call. It just is not something that people can actually follow. And so what happened was people tended to get too many slides in their presentation and way too many words. And they typically downgraded the use of images and pictures unless they were charts. And I cannot tell you the number of times. And one of my biggest pet peeves is for people to go, I know you can't read what's on this slide, but for some reason, I wanted to show it to you anyway. That is a huge pet peeve for me. If it's on the slide, people in the audience need to see it. So one of the things that we've been working on at Rocket Tools over the last year is how can we redefine the way that we do presentations? And I'll give you a little teaser. We're going to do some more work on this in the future to really show you how to put this in your presentations. But just a little bit of a teaser, and that teaser is that people today really like to see rapid moving, engaging, visual video slides, much like they are watching TikTok. So we often tell people to create presentations that are TikTok like, meaning that they have that visual, engaging, rapid changing presentation mode. Now, doing that in a PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to be brutally honest, is possible, but you've got to have a PowerPoint person in your office that knows how to do PowerPoint. If you're trying to do that yourself, and I've been doing presentations for over 30 years, I can tell you I can't do it. I'm not good at PowerPoint. I never have been good, and I always outsourced it to someone else. But today, there are some solutions that can really rapidly change your presentation mode. So today I'm going to show you a tool. It's called Beautiful.ai. I'm going to walk you through the interface and show you how easy it is to use. I'm also going to tell you a little inside baseball. It's the number one recommended device that we tell companies to use today to dump PowerPoint and jump into projects like Beautiful AI. It will revolutionize your presentations and make things way more engaging, way more fun for your audience. And at the end of the day, it's not so much about you just telling the story, it's about your audience comprehending the story. And the cool thing about using tools like Beautiful AI, not only will they speed up your process and make the process more fun and efficient to develop, but they're going to make it way more engaging for your audience to be able to follow that down the road. So let me show you a little bit about the platform and how it works. And it's actually so cost effective that there's really no reason not to give it a try. So this is the website for Beautiful AI. Pretty simple layout. I'm not going to go through the website too much, but it will jumpstart your presentation. So let me talk to you just a little bit about pricing, because that's something that people always ask me about. And the pricing is actually extremely affordable. It's like $12 a month, and it says it's billed annually. I do have an annual subscription, but a little bit of inside baseball. I don't think you have to purchase an annual subscription. So you can sign up and actually do a free trial. And I think the monthly one is not that expensive either. I use it for virtually 100% of presentations that I have to create, particularly ones I have to work on a little bit. If I'm doing something on the fly, I've got some other tools for that we'll talk about in the future. But for this one, it actually just is really a game-changing tool. So I'm going to log in and show you the interface. Here we go. So here's a bunch of presentations that I've done and kind of show you how they actually look. And let me show you how just to create one from scratch. So we're going to go over here to blank presentation, and you're going to see a lot of different options. You can create one, and I'm going to do two for you today. I'm going to show you a real quick version for one, and then I'm going to actually show you some of the actual slide builds, so you get really a flavor of how this tool works, and you're not starting from scratch. The first thing is there is a feature called Generate with AI. And here you can actually put in the topic of your slides that you want to talk about. What's the topic of your presentation? And it's actually going to create a presentation for you. Now, the more information you put in here, the better. So if you've got, a good paragraph or a couple of paragraphs of what you're talking about, it's going to do a much better job. It's going to really fill your presentation with detail. I don't have that today, so I'm going to do something really simple. I'm just going to do my standard starting a dog walking business in a suburban market as a franchise opportunity. And it uses segways to walk the dogs as an added benefit and to entice customers with this new tech. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. We're going to see what's going to happen. We're always rolling the dice here with AI, and it's going to gather some data. It's going to put some slides together, and then boom, it's going to build me out a presentation. Now, I'll be upfront with you. I have no idea if this presentation is going to be any good, but it's calling it Fetch and Ride, the Segway powered dog walking business. Let me go back over here. Dog walking with Segway powered convenience. Okay, so really, right off the bat, it's not bad. Actually, it's not bad. Now, here's the cool thing. I can go over here and I can say that's an image of a roller coaster. I don't really like that. So let's see if we can find an image of dog walking, and that would maybe fit our presentation a little bit better. And these are pretty good here. Most people look like they're having fun walking their dogs. I kind of like that one. So clearly we can add that picture in, and we might need to reframe it. You can actually do some kind of cool things here. You can adjust this image if you want to make it a little smaller or something like that if you want to fit the frame. I kind of like it actually kind of big full frame like that, so I'm gonna leave it. You can also change the text, but for a title slide, not actually bad at all. So let's keep going. So here's a Fetch and Ride, a revolutionary dog walking franchise that leverages Segway tech to provide a unique and efficient service. Actually, not good. Again, I really don't particularly like that image. So I'm going to see if I can actually find something about Segways. I have no idea here, but we're going to see if we can find it. It actually showed me a logo, and there we are. So I'm going to actually pull in this logo. I think I like that better. So it's going to kind of show the Segway logo, and look, it went and found the logo for me. I'm not going to say it's perfect every time, but if your company has a logo on a website, it will go grab the logo and put it into the slide. So why Segways offer a unique and efficient mode for transportation. So this looks pretty good. There are some things that you can do here with the text. You can kind of move it around to different areas. So if you want, that's in the middle. You wanted to kind of put it in a gutter here or along the bottom. They just kind of put it in the middle. I think that's okay. So I'm actually okay with that. You can do the same thing with the image. So if you wanted to, flip the image over on this side, you could do it. Now, back to my TikTok style presentation style. You don't want all your text and your images, say text on the left, image on the right. You want to actually mix it up, right? So that it's not always the same. So you want to kind of mix it up. Now, sometimes you're going to find that these images aren't going to really work. So I kind of like this one, the one they suggested. So I'm going to go back and actually use that one. So let's just kind of keep going. This is another example. It looks like these slides go together, but they look different. And that's actually what we're trying to say when we give a presentation. We want it to do that kind of approach. And so you can see, it's got this initial investment, comprehensive training. I think this text is a little bit long. So what I would do is go in and cut out some of this text to make it, changed up a little bit. But you can actually, you can go in and you can look at the shapes and the different ways that you might want to do these icons. So these are, circles, but you could do different things. If you wanted to add a different item, you could do that too. Lots of text on the slide, a little bit too much for me, but you can go in here and you can look at different text styles. I love checks. I think checks say a lot. The checks are also good. Now, these are all positive remarks on the slide, but let's just say, for instance, that you wanted this to be something that you didn't want to do, like, aging population wasn't something you wanted to talk to about dog walking. Then you could actually just click this lever and make these quick changes, which can be very, very, very helpful. You can also add in icons, all kinds of different things if you wanted to number it, a number list. I actually kind of like the check, so I'm going to leave that there. Let's keep going. Now, this is a really cool feature within Beautiful AI, is that you can create charts. And the charts are actually really kind of fun. You can do a lot with it. You could change it to numbers, percentages, currency, depending on what you want to do. We'll leave it as percentages. You can do decimals if you want to. You can also change the kind of the minimum and the maximum of these charts. So if you click on them, right, if you click on this one, you can actually increase the value here. So if you want to say time spent walking, you could actually lower it way down. Distance covered, dogs walked per hour. You could actually make that, you can make that value a lot more. Client satisfaction. So you can change these. So this is really a cool slide and absolutely nothing you could ever do in PowerPoint without a lot of graphics assistance. And again, you saw we're like, 10 minutes into this video and we've got a presentation. I also have a whole solution of slides that are kind of built for standard things. Like this is a standard bullet slide where we want to see people that are on your team. You can go in and you can change these images. So you can actually upload an image if you want to, replace an image. You can delete a person. So to say there's only 3 people on your team, you can do that. You can add another team member if you wanted to. So again, very easy to do. This is a very common kind of McKinsey style slide where you're showing kind of the pathway of things going on. Again, lots of words going on here, but you could put the text above it. You could put the text below it. Lots of different, you could do this kind of format. The goal here, again, is to create an opportunity for change. So when people are seeing kind of some dynamic change going on. Again, you've seen these before, but again, we can go in and change these arrows, right? So if this arrow needs to be a little bit longer, we can do that. I love the color change. And one of the things I really like about Beautiful AI is the fact that we've changed the colors, but we've kept the consistency of the theme the same. So again, get away from this idea that you always have to follow an actual theme or a format. You just want to keep things where they look natural in their flow, but you want them to be different, big, different, have those kind of changes. So here we're at the end of this presentation. So I'm going to add a few more things here just to kind of show you some different sections. These are all the different slides that you can add with Beautiful. And so you can do data, you can do percentages, line charts, you can do headlines. So let me kind of show you something that's really kind of fun. We can go to this headline slide, and it's going to give you a whole different set of headlines that you might want to try. So here's a good example. We're going to add a quote slide. So here you can have your quote, and I love these quotes that have the sort of difference in color, different in text. You go in and modify it. And again, you could go in here and you could change this image, right? So we could go in here and we could replace the image. Maybe we want this to be, Thomas Edison. We'll just say, I don't know, we'll look for Thomas Edison. If you wanted to add a quote like that, I don't know what's going to come up. That's not Thomas Edison. But we could add maybe a different, say, here, there's Thomas Edison right there, right? So we can search on this and it's linked to Pixabay. So you get these images. So what a powerful slide, right? So if you were doing a slide about entrepreneurship, you could do that really, really easy. We've talked about many of these already, but I want to show you just a couple more that are pretty powerful. And again, mixing things up. So one of the things I really like about Beautiful is the fact that you can include images. And images are just powerful changes to your slides. So you don't always have to put words on a slide. In fact, you can put just images on a slide. That's all you really need to do. So I'm going to pick this one here. And you notice it's got this image part up here, but I think we can just delete it if we wanted to and take it off. So if I wanted to change this image and just make it something, really powerful about, a dog, let's just see what we get. I mean, this is some pretty powerful images here. So let's look for one that would fit that kind of look of that slide, and it would be kind of beautiful there. And I like this one actually. So that's a very warm fit. So imagine if you're talking about dogs, right? And you show an entire slide about happiness, you can use these colors to evoke the emotion that you're trying to create in the presentation. So I've kind of given you kind of a good idea. You can click this box at the top and you can kind of see how your slides are going to move, and you can actually move them around. So you can kind of sort them to put them in different orders and that sort of thing. And then finally, when you're ready to play it, you can click this play button and it's going to start there. But let me kind of walk you through how this plays. And you notice this sort of great kind of change, how this text actually kind of floats into the page. And another example of that kind of TikTok style, right, where you're giving people this kind of opportunity to see some changes. And you notice even on this button slide here, you're getting these things kind of flowing in naturally. There's natural movement on the slides. which help people to stay engaged, particularly on things like PowerPoint. And I love these slides like this, which build these columns in length because they just keep people engaged. Love that feature that's present there. And it's kind of final. I think that's pretty much it as far as that's concerned. We'll exit the player and go back. So, here's what I think about it. There's a couple things you can export this as PowerPoint slides. I've never found that successful. I don't think these slides do well to be converted into PowerPoint. So you really have to use them within Beautiful. Now, you can present directly from the web, which is really cool. So if you're in a venue, I spoke recently in Houston, literally logged into Beautiful AI and presented directly from the web. In other words, my slides are on the cloud, but you can actually download the slides to your computer. And there's actually a Beautiful.ai player that sits on your laptop. So you can take your laptop with you and you never have to worry about having Wi-Fi access to be able to give your presentation, which is actually really cool. Again, we showed you the AI features. There's animations. You can embed code. You can embed websites. We've actually embedded a live chatbot demo on a slide. So you can actually go in and interact with the demo live on the slide. You can put videos in slides. So if you want video motion or GIFs or things like that, that typically can add continual kind of motion. So I would hope you would give this a try. I think if you use it for your next presentation, get out of your comfort zone, don't use the same theme, and see how your audience responds. And one other little tip, live a little. Stretch your boundaries by adding more images and get out of the context of things like, I've got too many slides in my deck. You have too many slides in your deck if your slides are horrible. If your slides are engaging, they create a narrative, they create a movement in the story, they keep people going along, you can have all the slides in your deck you want. I recently gave a presentation that was about 30 minutes long, and I had about 50 slides. But keep in mind, some of those slides stayed on the screen for no more than like 10 seconds. They were keeping people engaged. I was telling a story, and as I did, I showed one visual after another rather than focusing on, spinning about 7 slides. I had that many slides in a 30-minute presentation, but it was much more like they were watching a video presentation of a story. So encourage yourself to stretch a little bit, go outside your comfort zone, stretch your storytelling with more images, fewer words, and with innovative platforms like Beautiful. Also, drop me comments, let me know what you think. And if you have any trouble setting this up or have questions about it, always book an appointment with me. I'm happy to help you.